Okay, so I got the nailer strip off. My flashing is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to set my saw to just a little tiny bit over 1.5 inches so that I don't cut the flashing at all if the board tends to go like this a little bit when I'm going through. Flashing. That's where those two little pieces are dug into the wood right here. So after I take this piece out of here, I'm going to cut those little what do you call them, off, so that I'll have a flat piece here that I can just sit on my new one. Okay, now from this outside to the inside of this ledge, right about here, is 1 inch and 5/16. So I'm going to need to set my blade at 1 inch and 5/16 to the outside of my blade so I can set just right on the inside of that ledge. Okay, I gotta have my trusty safety glasses on now since I'm going to be cutting metal and potential metal fragments might be flying at my face. So here we go. So it looks like I'm good. Looks like I'm cutting off the lip. Like on this side there's a lip, and this side I've cut it off. So, and I put a junky blade in my table saw since I'm cutting metal, and I don't want to ruin my good blade. So I might be able to go over just Okay, I got all of the metal flashing off all of these pieces. The next thing I need to do is create this little setback in the wood so my new pieces can go on to there and fit nice and snug without having to bend them around. So here are here are my straight pieces that need to get the edges put on them. So that would be really easy to do on the table saw on these flat pieces here. Just set your saw to the 9/16 that it needs to go and run it through on both sides. You got nice straight cuts. But how do you do that on these? You can't do that on these because you can't hold this side against the fence like that and push it through and get that 9/16 setback on there. So what I've decided to do is take my flush mount router bit and take it used to have this bearing on there, which would make it the flush mount router bit, right? So I took that bearing off, and I took the bearing off of this router bit, and I stuck my smaller bearing onto here. So now, when I put that up there, this blade is out farther than the bearing. And I tested it on a different piece, and it's the exact amount that I need to take off, which is great. So I just set my blade height to here to 9/16. What I need to do to take off the edge on these round boards, and I'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, here we go with my router bit setup to make my setback in this wood. Okay. As you can see, I got that line all the way across. That's just about enough setback that I need to do that. So it's looking really good. Then I'm going to put the top back on, and I'm going to start putting these frames back together. Okay, here's my metal piece of flashing. As you can tell, again, I removed all the wood, so we got our space ready for our piece right here that I just put my set back on. And I'll just go ahead and try to put this back on my new piece. Tap it over just a little bit. Grab my hammer, tap that thing over just a little bit. But it fits on there like a perfect. Good. Beautiful. Look at how that fits right on there. Gorgeous. Easy to put on. It fits in there very, very nice. Did a good job, I think, on that. Okay, so I just got this one put together, and how I am doing that is first I'm putting on the flashing part onto my boards. Then I'm cutting to match the 45s that my boards, or that my flashing already were cut at. So I make my cuts long, and then I cut the 45 to match the flashing as the flashing is on my piece. Okay, so I took my board that I had to make my arches and I just flipped it over, and I screwed this block onto the corner, which is again 7 inches by 7 inches. And so I kept it 1.5 inches back this way on both sides, so I can just put my pieces up there, and I have a square corner to go off of to lay my pieces up. I take my gun and I shoot the corners together. Then when everything is together, then I will take my screws and screw it all together. So my corners turned out super good on this one anyway. Everything looks nice and tight, how it should be. That window should fit exactly how it did in the other frame. So I'm pretty pleased with how all of this has come out so far. And there we go. Okay, well, I got 2 of them put all the way together, at least the frames today. My 45s look really, really good on all my 45s, even the curved ones. They look really, really nice and tight, like that. Let's get the other one over here. So, yeah, the frames are on, and they'll be ready for glass on Monday. There's my bent board that I made. I'm pretty happy with how these are turning out. Now after I'm done with this, I just have to make the pieces that come off of here. I think they're about another 2 inches, so then they will be done. Okay, about ready to put this third frame together. As you can tell, I got my 45s cut on both sides. Okay. And they have these little rubber pieces that go in this top part to go ahead and snug that together after they're put together. So those came in the other windows that I took apart. And so I'll go ahead and show you how I do this now. First, you want to glue both corners. I'm going to put the 90-degree corner together first. So sorry you gotta see my legs right now, but okay. And first I'm gonna push this rubber piece into the adjoining piece, just like that. I'll lock my 45 kind of in there a little bit. Take my gun, plug it up. I'm using 1.5 inch nails to shoot this thing together. Okay, I got these 2 out of the 4 completely done. I just got done putting the outside edge on. So that's the inside of one of the windows. Glass is in. Here's the outside of one of the windows. The inside looks exactly like this one on this one. I just have these 2 to do yet, then they can pick them up tomorrow. Got them done in time. It's a good feeling.